This is otakugamerx, OGX for short, and this is OGX's Retro Gametopia, where I talk about retro video game magazines, retro video game TV shows, retro video game events, and everything else retro video games. Today, I'm going to talk about the very first E3. It's that time again. It's E3 time. The time where rumors become reality. When surprise announcements shock people. And when we get to see all the amazing games that go and come out in the near future. But before we see what the future has for us, I would like us to go back in the past to the very first E3. It's May 1995. Bad Boys is in the movie theater. Drew Barrymore danced on David Letterman's desk on his show, and everybody was jamming to Montel Jordan. This is how we do it. Also, everybody wanted something new in gaming. Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis was doing good, but they was getting old. Jaguar and 3DO was doing okay, but it wasn't enough. People wanted to see Nintendo and Sega make the jump to 3D. People also wanted to see what Sony had up their sleeves. The event that video games was showcased in was the Consumer Electronics Show, or CES. It was an okay place to show off games, but video games is only part of the show. Some envisioned a show that was focused solely on video games. And so, the Interactive Digital Software Association, or the IDSA, decided to hold the first E3 at the Los Angeles Convention Center from May 11th to the 13th of 1995. The day before the show, Sega and Sony decided to hold a press conference in which they talked about the new systems. Sega started theirs first. Sega wasn't doing so great. The Genesis was doing good, but the Sega CD and the newly released 32X was losing steam fast. Early in the year, Sega announced that the Saturn was going to be released in the US on September 2nd, 1995. Sega started off the show with this really bizarre video that introduced the Sega Saturn. Please track down this video. This video is so bizarre, it's entertaining. You're gonna enjoy it. Just watch it. Anyway, after that, Sega did one of the worst business decisions in video game history. They announced that the Sega Saturn was gonna be available that day for the price of $399, and it was already shipped to certain stores. This was so bad in so many ways. The stores that didn't get the shipment was pissed. Consumers were surprised and confused. And there was a small selection of titles till September because developers didn't even know that the Saturn was going to be released on that date before the announcement. There was the Arcade Perfect Virtual Fighters. The near perfect but still great Daytona USA. And the awesome shooter, Panzer Dragoon. Sega decided to focus on the Saturn, so Genesis and all its add-ons didn't get much games that year. But the few games that the Genesis got was some of the best games on the system. There was the amazing run-and-gun shooter, Vector Man. And the fantastic beat-em-up, Comic Zone. Sega CD had an internal champion. And the 32X had an almost perfect Virtual Fighter port, which made no sense because the Sega Saturn had a perfect port. So that port was pointless. Sony started their conference later on in the day. After 10 or 15 minutes of boring talk and charts and stuff, the CEO of Sony, Steve Race, came up on the stage and announced that the PlayStation was $299 and walked off. The crowd went crazy. Before the conference, everybody thought that the PlayStation was going to be more than Saturn. But to everybody's surprise, it was actually $100 less than the Saturn. And the PlayStation had the edge over the Saturn because of that. Since the PlayStation was going to be released in September, they had a greater selection of games at and around the launch. The problem that systems like 3DO, CDI, and Atari Jaguar had was that they couldn't get much third-party support. Sony made sure they had a lot of third-party support. Sony announced that the total of 160 developers working on games for the PlayStation. God damn, that's a lot. Sony had over 50 games on the show floor. Some of the games was the cool futuristic Wipeout, the Great Fighter Tekken, the Great Car Battle and Crystal Battle, the okay but kind of generic Battle Arena Toshindo, and the short but great Ridge Racers. The week before E3, Nintendo announced that the Nintendo 64, which at the time was known as Ultra 64, was not going to come out till 1996, and they won't have any new news about it at this year E3. Sounds really familiar. They still had a new console to introduce, the Virtual Boy. It was one of Nintendo's worst mistakes. Where do I begin? The console didn't know what it wanted to be. It was too portable to be a home console, and it was too bulky to be a portable system. There was a report that the system was uncomfortable to use, and the weird black and red graphics gave people headaches. They announced that it would cost $179. Unlike now, Nintendo had some good games to show off for their current system at the time, the Super Nintendo. They had the awesome fighter Killer Instinct, the amazingly looking Donkey Kong Country 2, and great RPGs like Breath of Fire 2 and Chrono Trigger. The other system was on their last leg. The CDI didn't really do anything special here. The 3DO and the Atari tried their hardest to compete. The 3DO revealed a new, but soon to be cancelled, M2. The M2 was supposed to be more powerful than a PlayStation and the Saturn. I guess we would never know if it was really that powerful. Atari also introduced new hardware. They introduced a CD add-on and a virtual reality add-on. Yep, Atari did the virtual reality thing way before Sony. But that wasn't enough. Neo Geo also released the Neo Geo CD, a cheaper alternative to the regular Neo Geo. The huge problem with the system was the page release load times. It took as long as 1 minute to load up something. And that was with the faster US version compared to the slower one that was overseas. That was the very first E3, and as you can see, it was a huge success, and it went on years after year. And I can't wait to see what they're going to have this year. That's the end of this episode. If you want to get notified when the next Retro Gametopia come out, you can subscribe or follow me on Twitter at otakugamerx. Till then, this is otakugamerx, OGX for short, and I'm out.